Okay, I think we are streaming. Um, Let me just check if everything is working. I just putting my link to this school link to this event into my school community, and that's what's happening right now. The link is updated. I will be with you in just 1 minute. Oof. Yeah, so today I spent 2 hours in just finding the music that I need to put into this. There was just so much confusion around which music, where can I find music that's copyrighted? Because on day one, I used some music and then YouTube flagged that this music is something I couldn't use. It was YouTube music, and it's safe to assume that if it's already on YouTube, you could use in YouTube, but turns out no. You need to have a a special license for the streaming, and that music is not from YouTube. You need to use a different service for this. So I am now paying for Epidemic Sound, and now I guess I can use this music. Oh, I need my headphones. Okay. I think, uh, yeah. Okay, so now good that I have my music sorted. I'm using Epidemic Sound. Ideally, what I would have loved to use is Brain.fm. I really love this music. It makes me extremely productive. They use some sort of researched brainwave thing, and the music also sounds quite nice. But unfortunately, their policy doesn't allow me to use it to stream. I wrote to them, and they said they didn't allow me, but they said I could use an affiliate link to put it. It was still very fuzzy that if I could use it and use my affiliate link or I could not use it. They didn't phrase their email pretty well. Um, I guess it was intentionally fuzzy, right? Anyway, so we are here live again. Let me turn on the music. So we set the vibe. Okay, today we are going techno. Let me start a new one. Needs a more slow, gradual start. Okay, I think this works. If it's too loud, let me know in the chat if you're here. Okay, so one feedback I got was that I need to set context on what we're building first before we even start today. Because some of you may be new here, and some of you, and if you're watching, you probably wouldn't have an idea what we're building. So I'll do that, and also I will try to make the session a little more fun, right? Not make it a bit boring that you're just seeing me quiet, just typing things, and we'll talk through things, and we will also try to make the experience more fun as we're building too. I also sorted out some things that when I was on the call, sometimes what would happen is I would receive when I'm streaming, I would receive a call and it would just um, show up on my laptop, and there was no way for me to turn it off. But I figured that finally. Okay, so let's go. I think localhost 5. Okay, we were working directly on the ChatGPT app, right? Let me. Okay, here's exactly where we left off yesterday. I also need to open Whimsical. Let me do that. Give me 1 minute. Okay, there you go. So, Whimsical is where we are tracking what's happening in this whole business, right? So it's not very linear. You're going to have to think about many things. And yeah, this is just me keeping track of my thought process in different notes I want to capture, different things, initiatives that I'm doing, and try to understand the whole picture of how this whole messy business building could be. And apart from that, just give me 1 more minute. Let me just make sure my headphones is constantly making some noise. It's connecting and disconnecting constantly, so I need to make sure it's okay. It should be okay. Yeah. So what are we building? I think. Okay. So what is Sunlight, right? Sunlight is. Let me actually start a new chat and get OpenAI say it for us, right? Describe the opportunity and what we're building in a few lines. This is the best way for me to explain. So we're building a competitor intelligence platform for a very specific niche. So we're building a competitive monetization intelligence platform for vertical SaaS companies. If you go back to day one and watch, we were brainstorming what should we actually build. We started as a generic competitive intelligence platform. There are many platforms like this. An example is Klue, KLUE. There is many more agentic competitive platforms. A lot of them are very generic. They are trying to tackle a platform for everyone. And how we are trying to approach is to be more specific, to target a very specific niche. So in this case, it's going to be a vertical SaaS niche. That's the target audience. The problem is today, teams struggle to understand how competitors actually make money, how their pricing and packaging evolve, and what these changes mean for their own strategy, right? So they need a real-time understanding of what's happening in their competition. And the wedge that I'm focusing on right now, again, this needs to be validated. We have a ton of calls coming up to speak with potential customers or people who are industry experts to validate all the assumptions that we're making. So the wedge that we are going to have is that we will see through a very specific persona, right? These competitive intelligence platforms, they scrape these different websites where, like change logs, pricing pages, and they will list out exactly what it costs based on what's listed. But it doesn't actually go through and understand what it might cost for a very specific user segment. So if you say, I am a creator with less than 10,000 followers, maybe I don't have such a big, I'm not monetizing yet. And for me, what would be the best platform choice and the competitive monetization intelligence on that aspect, right? So that's where I think there's some value here to be more specific to a target persona. There's actually, this came up in one of the discussion with someone I had. They were building and actually quite profitable. They had, not sure, I think maybe even like 500 customers of the same concept, but on around landing pages. So it's more broader concept, right? And I'm here going even more specific on just the monetization aspect of this. It's adjacent so to what already works, and they have customers, and they are focused on vertical SaaS. And this is the person I'm going to talk to soon, next Friday. And I want a fully working demo by next Friday so I can show them exactly what it is and get their actual feedback. And who knows if this is something that is an offer that can go along with what they are already doing, it's a big win, right? So, I mean, if this person actually likes the product, they could also distribute this to their audience, their customers. So many different possibilities coming up. So, problem. Teams struggle to understand how competitors actually make money, how their pricing and packaging evolves, and what those changes mean for their own strategy, right? The data is fragmented, difficult to monetize, and quickly becomes stale. We're building a system of record of competitor monetization, continuously structuring pricing, payments, fintech, packaging, maintaining the history, detect meaningful changes, and compare them against this one. In one sentence, know exactly how your vertical SaaS competitors make money, what they're changing, and what you should reconsider as a result. Okay, let me copy this. I will go put it inside my school community. So this is my school community. If you want access to this, and if you're not already, you should write on the comments, and I am happy to invite you. What we're building. I'm going to add this today. The opportunity statement. Okay, just call it opportunity. Okay, and problem statement. Okay, this. So here, let me type problem statement. Well, again, none of this is validated, right? So we are going to be validating these things soon. Teams struggle to understand how competitors actually make money, how their pricing and packaging evolve, and what those changes mean. The data is fragmented, blah, blah, blah. And let's move that. Okay, so what we're building, so solution. This is typically how we have decks created in our workplaces. In most large companies I worked in, we have this opportunity one-pager, which is always used to refer back to and understand what we're actually building. Because it's easy to miss the sight of what we're building in the lens of a problem. And that is the part that usually people make a mistake and just build these features that nobody wants. So that's why we need to keep the problem always in focus whenever we build anything, right? Okay. So what did we build until yesterday? Going back to our ChatGPT app. Let me go back to the chat we were in. Okay. Let me open this localhost. Here we are. So we did some brainstorming. If you go back to day 2 and day 1, we did a lot of brainstorming with ChatGPT in terms of narrowing down the niche, narrowing down the problems, and we made AI sort of come up with a proposal on how to tackle this problem in terms of how do we have a differentiated solution to this problem, right? And AI itself made like a suggestion on what we should be doing. If you go through that, you will see exactly how I arrived at here. And it generated a spec, and now we have a tool, a prototype, right? The first thing that AI generated was obviously slop. And how I approached it is like, I took each section, started with the platform pricing, and then asked AI why did you arrive here? Like sort of challenge its own decisions. And as usual, it went back and it said, "Oh no, that you're obviously right. This is not. This is a better decision to do something." And of course, this is the drill you probably know already. And now we have after a few iterations and working on things, we narrowed down on few decisions. So first, how we are comparing. So if you're a company, in this case, this company is Abify, and if this is a company, what are the peer group we are trying to compare against? And then this is a persona. Who is the person for whom this comparison is being made, right? So this is the persona, is the audience for whom this comparison is being made. And then this region aspect as well. So you can go and edit different aspects about this. So either you can say, I want to compare direct, adjacent, all track platforms. Either way, you can actually have all of this configured inside companies, right? And persona is like, you can be as descriptive as possible. We will build it later, but you can say, you can have an AI model assess these different competitors, and this AI model will assume this persona and try to assess this, right? So, and it will say, for platform pricing, for this persona, this is the platform pricing. It makes sense in this scale. So you can see for different players, how much the platform might cost for this persona. So that's an interesting view. You can like hover and see exactly what is the cost. And if you open the breakdown, you can see exactly for Thinkific, it's the starter plan. Of course, if you click this is the plan, and then this is the cost. Why this configuration? Some justification on why this makes sense for this persona. We will populate this later, and some annual fixed cost calculation for this person, right? So it costs blah. Then this is the plans it evaluates. So this was the plan it selected. This plan is not eligible because maybe the requirements didn't meet. And this would have costed much lesser. We could go a little more detail into why this is not eligible. I guess let's do that right now. When I hover on this status, I want to understand why this plan is not eligible for a persona. Show it on a tooltip, right? So let me put it back to work. Yeah, Stera extra high. I think that's the model I want. Okay, so that's going to do that. And now we have exactly the plan selected, and then there is an insight, right? An insight could be like, generally, what did AI come up with after trying to evaluate from the pricing standpoint? And then some evidence links. So if you click here, it should directly go into how it figured this out, right? That's where we are right now. Now, what we are going to do is move to the next part, which is the transaction economics, right? Before that, I wanted to first also make this whole experience a bit more fun. I'm thinking of ideas of how to do this. One of those is like, first, make this entire conversation a bit less technical and a little more fun. I can do that by, I think if I go back to Sunlight, this thing, edit project, I can go into advanced and say custom instructions, right? See, there you go. I can say respond in a light-hearted, non-technical, light-hearted, what do we call it? Maybe fun, easy to follow way, as if you are explaining to a teenager. Keep things use technical terms wherever necessary to communicate, but keep the conversation easy to understand. When asking to make decisions, make it easier, preferably with some humor. Keep sentences short and concise. Now, let's see if this changes anything about it. Okay, let me copy it in case it just disappears back. Advanced, yeah, it's there. Okay, should pick it up in the next chat, hopefully. Let's close this and there is, I think we've reached officially the part where it's repetitive work. We got to do the exact same thing for transactions, for included package, for this one. I will try and go step by step, and let's try to do this, see how we can make it a bit better, right? Okay, so there you go, 3 products. There's 3 products, 1 sales team member, and no affiliate management. It's actually not, the text is, the text needs, the text that comes up on the tooltip needs to be human readable. With sufficient context, right? How do I say what's a human readable? Of course, you need to have 3 products, 1 sales member, and no affiliate management, right? Say this needs to be human readable. This is compressed too much and reads too technical. Why answer as if answering why didn't this plan work for the persona for whom we are reviewing this plan, right? So it needs to be a little more smart, or at least have a better way to talk. And okay, so we have this. Let's continue with transaction economics. Okay, so now let's help me understand what transaction economics are in user stories and what information would actually matter. Go through all the attached documents and specs before answering this. Do some web research on these competitor websites and understand what data points they actually have and why they would matter to this persona before evaluating what information we are trying to show here. Let's see where that goes. So what we're trying to understand is just like critically look at if this information is actually something we need to show, right? I think what I want to do is maybe over here, while the music is playing and uh, I'm explaining something, maybe it would be good to have some text message on the screen that will like give you an update on what's happening, right? Let me see how I can set that up. Uh, this thing, maybe I can put text, but the text is like, the problem with text is, see, I'll show you. It's so huge and there's no, I mean, I can change the font and everything. But where do I display this text, right? If I do this, okay, it's too small. I think it's better I put this text somewhere else and then bring it here. Or I want like a dynamic place where I can modify the text anytime. Let me see, how can I do this? Okay, wait, this is, okay, what's happening here? I reviewed the full project brief for the persona. Check the blah, blah, blah. For this persona, call it cost to collect sales or check out economics for this business. Instead, the user story is for a German course and membership business selling roughly 500K a year, which eligible platform leaves us with the most revenue and what operational work does that cost? That's actually, it's actually more clearer, right? So for this, I think we need to sort of add this to our user story. So we're collecting all our documents here. So let's add this here. User story. I think this is a generic user story. Continuous monitoring becomes okay. User story for transaction economics. Okay. Yeah. We will get the user story for pricing as too. I think, but this is an interesting way to capture. So let's make a table actually. So pricing, economics, user story, section, user story, right? So this is probably the overview, pricing overview page. Okay. So here, let's add a transaction. We'll create another row and put the pricing one there, right? Transaction, economics. And then we put the user story here. There you go. This is much easier. This is a lot of text here. I think I need to clean this up sometime. Just put a note. Clean up the above information. Okay, we do that a bit later. Okay, so that's much more useful than which platform has lowest transaction rate. What matters is persona, annual sales, and number of payments. A 1% fee is 5,000 at 500K sales. A 0.5 fixed fee is 1,000 across 2,000 payments. Okay, average order value. A fixed transaction fees hurt low ticket purchases more than €250 course sales. One-time memberships versus memberships. Several providers add fees for subscriptions or payment plans. Okay. A plan can buyer localization. Simplify me and help me understand. Okay, so let's keep it simple. For this business, the question is, after we sell a course or membership, how much money do we actually keep? The answer depends on four things. How much did you sell? At 500K annual sales, every 1% fee costs 5,000. How customers pay? Cards all cost different amounts. What you sell? Membership renewals and installment plans can carry extra fees. What the platform handles. Some platforms take a larger cut but handle VAT, invoices, refunds, blah, blah, blah. Others charge less but leave work with the creator. Instead of showing one generic three-point transaction economics number, the screen should answer, for a German business selling, this platform is expected to cost. Okay, let's keep the same simplified user language. And how would update the interface, the values and the breakdown? It's just about asking the right questions. I think you can get pretty far just like trying to ask the right question and get AI solve it for you. So the execution is just completely outsourced. All we got to do is just make sure we are covering all the right questions to be answered, right? A replace transaction is a simpler cost to get paid. Cost to get paid is also still a bit fuzzy to me. We want to know what it would look like if Ablefy is a company actually viewing this, right? I mean, this part I think kind of makes sense in terms of if I was Ablefy, like, and I'm viewing this and I see, okay, this is the lowest fixed cost and this is what's happening, right? It's gonna make sense. But let's see what's happening. Let's change the perspective. The user is Ablefy. Ablefy's pricing strategy or product marketing team, not a creator shopping for software. The question becomes, for this type of customer, how much does Ablefy earn from transaction related fees? I think we should have something like this should be something like transaction fee earned. What are, how do we calculate this? How do we make the breakdown reliable and useful to read that addresses a specific problem? So, of course, there are lots of assumptions being made here, right? So, 500,000 is the assumption on terms of annual sales processed by the company that is using Ablify. So, all of these things probably needs to be like a slider. So you can just like immediately check exactly what's the value, right? Okay. Now using this, um, write a spec for how to update the interface. Okay. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. I mean, ooh, calculation comp Abilify reserved for scaling educational business. This is still the old one, I think, because there is no configuration. I think I can turn on the fast mode. I see three watching right now. If there's anyone, just say hi on the chat. Curious who's here. My guess is it'll take at least 20 days, 10 to 20 days before this starts picking up some traffic. I'm guessing. But again, the main reason I'm doing it is for myself to document this. And I really like this aspect of having an accountability and a fixed time where I can come and work on this. This makes things so much more structured. And also, just because I'm doing this and I'm approaching in this this structured way, uh, like like things seem to be happening more predictably. Like, I mean, when it sort of like holds me accountable from not working on things that I shouldn't be working on. Okay, not bad, but I want sliders. And checkout sales, successful payments, fee rate. Also, this is just not for Abilify. We are building a competitive intelligence tool. It needs to be for all the competitors. Use a similar scale as platform revenue. There's so many dynamic aspects that there will be generative UI here for sure. All of this would be like created on the fly. All these knobs and levers will be created on the fly, and that would be really cool. But I guess there's a lot of testing to be done here to make sure this is this is reliable. Don't have to mention this everywhere. Oh, it went and changed even the next section. Oh, no, still in the okay. Okay. Okay, I think what we can do is, while this is working, let's follow the same process for the others too, right? We can have multiple chats open at the same time, okay? Can I duplicate this? This has some alignment issue. What drives this revenue? Um, okay, the problem is when I click here, the values under don't change. So I think if um, AI wasn't smart enough to pick that up. Testing this is going to be a pain because we're going to have to one verify all of this as well ourselves, and I wonder how that's going to be like, because manually verifying this is going to be quite a pain, I guess. Before we roll out and like actually start having customers pay for it, definitely needs to be double checked. Might hire someone to do this calculation manually. Mm, Find someone on Upwork to do this. Of course, I'm not going to be sitting and doing this whole thing. Should capture that. Should be estimated transaction fee earned by Hotmart. Customer payment assumptions. Credit assumptions. Okay, checkout sales. Annual sales processed through Avify. What is reseller? Should we descope this? Annual sales, successful payments per year. 10,000 payments per year. Oh, okay. I think I'm just going to use the Sol model for this entire work because I want the best intelligence on this right now. We're not building the software programming before this. There's a lot of thinking work involved. I'll change the music. Okay, transaction scenario, annual payment volume, average transaction value, estimated transactions. Okay, so these are standard, sounds like a standard. Go through all the values here and verify with other tools and vertical SaaS possibilities to understand if we can calculate, we can make accurate, similar calculations regardless of which vertical SaaS. Needs to be generic enough. Be generic, needs to be generic enough so it can be reliably calculated while personalized enough to take advantage of the agentic solution. Wow, this is a very, um, it's a big expectation. Actually, this wouldn't even be required, right? Because this is just a side-by-side comparison view. I think you already get that here. Okay, so um, I think we have some decent level of information with the transaction fee. I think next uh, I think next is just to test this and see if this actually makes sense, apart from the tech aspects of capturing this. Hey, Ajmal. So for others listening, and me and Ajmal used to work at Grab. Curious to see what he's built. Okay, so now I think this is where I'm gonna try and simplify things. So we did a process. We actually started from a crude transaction fee to a lot of things, steps we took to arrive here. And we got to do the same thing for the next one. So all of this is actually in the chat history. So I'm going to get AI to first capture from the chat what all we did and see if it can replicate the same process for the next. Everything we did from start to finish to update the transaction fee revenue card. Okay, so now we have the whole approach and we taught it how to make changes to one. You can just make it, ask it to use the changes for everything. Okay, it was on mute. So the side bar definitely has to change. None of these are relevant to the product. The sidebar and everything else seems okay. I think um, okay. This sounds very specific to the creator vertical. What else? Else that's pricing related can we capture that's also applicable for all vertical commerce SaaS. Ah, actually, this is interesting. What could people do? Oh, this is feature. I mean, it's probably already included in this. I want to understand what are they, how are they different. Okay, the music stopped. What happened? Um, Let me check what happened to the music. Genre. Let's play some house music now. Okay. Nice. What would be really cool is in the intelligence, you can actually talk about these insights. In all insights card, I want a few prompts of things we can ask AI about this insight. It's like short questions. In the intelligence section, on the sidebar, add a ask AI. Yeah, that would for a new question that would contain a new section, new chat section where you can continue asking AI about new exploring with AI about a potential direction about this insight from this insight, right? Spec for this, yeah. Let's see how my usage is. Oh, oh, cool, not bad. The alert still needs to be worked on. Let's finish this thing. Even the changes and alerts, both of them are pending yet, not yet worked on. We will pick this up soon. Let's see how much we can finish today. Okay, so let it go build. I'm gonna go make launch. Okay, so I think after this completes, we will stop here. We made several changes to the prototype. I think there is still some left. We, but it's already taking a good shape, and what's left is just to some minor tweaks before it's ready for uh, review. Okay, I think this looks okay. We don't need this backdrop. This could be removed as well. But otherwise, there's an insight to every change, which is kind of interesting. Um, so definitely looks something different from all the other platforms I saw. So that's it for today. Tomorrow, I think the plan is to just continue refining the prototype a little bit, and then we have some calls scheduled next week. So maybe the goal is to just clean it up and have it ready to review it with the potential customers, right? What I would do is, of course, I'm not going to build the whole thing. That would take much longer. What I would instead do is, depending on who I'm going to talk to, I will understand uh, their company, and then what I'll do is try to create a version, a mock-up for them that's, of course, not the data is incorrect, but I will try to pull as much data as I can with Cloud Code or like this Codex, and then like try to populate that and see if that's something that they would find useful. Um, of course, anyone can build this. It would take time. I mean, of course, we built this in like 2 days, a prototype at the least, but might take much longer to build the actual version. But I guess we would know if this is something people would be willing to pay $1,000 a month for. So that's the part we want to understand after speaking with customers. Um, okay, I think that's it for today. And tomorrow we'll have more updates.